Hello, thanks for joining us for this new Burda style video. Today, we will show you how to make Model 101 from our July 2021 issue of Burda Style. These lovely Gaucho pants are a classic. Long been forgotten, they are now coming back in style. This model is unique due to the diagonal cut of the legs and the interfacings, which are subtly top-stitched to create a rounded hem. It is super practical thanks to the handy hidden pockets, zipper, and the concealed fastener instead of a button. The many little pleats at the front create a lovely flare so typical of Gaucho pants. We have chosen a simple and trendy fabric in terracotta with white stripes. Super fashionable, it is made from 100% viscose and has a linen aspect, so it is fresh, flowy, and perfect for summer. For the stitching and raw edges, I am using the Excellence 580 Plus sewing machine by Elna. I suggest using a special overcast stitch for the raw edges. If your machine doesn't have this feature, use a zigzag stitch. And if you have a serger, feel free to use it for cleaner edges. In addition to your fabric and standard sewing material, you will need interfacing, one zipper, and a fastener. The references and quantities are provided in your magazine. I've already cut pieces 1 to 5 as well as pieces A and B according to the cutting layout. I've also added all the necessary markings and added interfacing to piece B as indicated in the magazine. Preparation for the project is complete. Now the first step. I start with placing the parts of the inner leg on top of each other, right sides together. I then use an iron to carefully stretch the edges, starting from the horizontal notch to seam 2 until they are as long as the front piece. Now let's move on to the front pleats. I place the markings of the pleats on top of each other, following the indications in the pattern, and then pin. Then I stitch each until the arrow, making sure to also backstitch each end. I press the pleats towards the arrows and then sew them with large stitches to fix them to the upper edge of the pants. You can baste if you'd like. Now I move on to the side pockets. To do this, I sew the side edges of the back and front of the pants together, starting from seam 1, but without stitching between the markings for the pocket openings. Then I neaten the allowances separately and press the seams apart. I pin the bottom of the pockets to the opening allowances right sides together, then sew them by stitching close to the side stitches. I then backstitch each end. I press the pocket bottoms towards the front, sew them, and then neaten them together. I stitch the inner legs together starting from seam 2, neaten the allowances, and then press the seams apart. I place one leg inside the other, right sides together, and then finish sewing the right center seam, starting from slit marking number 2. Now the next step, the zipper. On the front right side of the pants, I hold the center front edge to the inside. Then I press. After this, I fold the left side at 5 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch from the edge and press. Then I place the zipper underneath the front left edge and stitch close to the teeth. I place the folded right front edge on the front left edge and pin it together with this running lengthwise to close the gap. I stitch the other part of the zipper to the right facing without including the legs of the pants. Then I pin the facing to the pants and top stitch the gap as indicated in the instructions, starting from the top and ending 3 centimeters or 1 1/4 of an inch from the end. Now I fold the placket A in half lengthwise. The wrong side of the fabric will be visible. Then I stitch one of the width sides, which will be the bottom of the placket. Now I turn the placket right side out, place it under the left edge of the gap, and pin it to the facing. I stitch the placket close to the zipper seam. I close the gap again by pinning, then top stitching it to the end, and hold on to the placket as I go. Then I stitch the back center, starting from seam 2. After this, I neaten the allowances separately and press them apart, starting from the top and ending at the curve. Now on to the belt. I fold belt B in half lengthwise with the right side showing and press along the fold. Then I unfold it and pin the edge of the belt to the upper edge of the pants, right sides together. I sew together the allowances and stitch the flap of the belt to the placket of the gap. I then press the allowances towards the belt and fold the allowances of the other side towards the belt, pressing this as well. I fold the belt in half widthwise, right sides together, and stitch. I turn the belt right side out and then pin or baste the edge of the belt onto the stitching. I top stitch the belt close to the seam from the outside and then sew the fastener on by hand. Now the last step, the hem. I place the front facing on the back facing, right sides together, and stitch the width sides. I press the seams open and then pin the facings onto the bottom edge of the legs, right sides together, making sure that the interior and side seams match. I stitch the lower edges and press the seams, folding the facings inwards. Then I finish the top stitching close to the edge. I fold the allowances of the facings inner edges and press them. I then pin or baste them before top stitching them close to the edge. And our trendy Gaucho pants are done. This piece is unique, practical, feminine, and perfect for a sunny summer. This model will quickly become a favorite. And if you don't want to miss out on what's happening on social media, subscribe to our channel and check out our Facebook group. See you soon for our next sewing tutorial. Burda Style thanks and recommends its sewing machine partner, Elna. Thank you for watching and catch you next time with our new Burda Style tutorials.